12:30. It's on a Thursday. Just been down to Tootsie's, but they're not open. They've been refurbishing, so it does annoy me when you go onto social media and you put in the restaurant, it comes up and you try and say open, and it says opening at and closes at 9 p.m. and it's open today, and when you get there it's closed. And you explain it to the staff that it's on their social media site, and they turn around and they say no it's not, no it's not. But then when they look at the social media site, it is. Mad, that anyway, what was I going to say? So I'm here at Bricks in SF. Got to go and buy some biscuits for Annie's for schooling. Yesterday Annie come home and she's got a miscellaneous payment to make at school, 4,500 peso, and she needs to complete that before she can get her payment documentation at school cleared, so they'll let her take the exam. So I was asking Annie what was it for, and I said miscellaneous. I said, yeah, but miscellaneous what? She couldn't answer me. They're using the same schoolroom, they're doing the same stuff that they've done last year, the year before, but all of a sudden, well, there's 38 people in Annie's class now, because they've all been moved into this class to ratify the exam, which is going to be next week or the week after, and every one of them's got to pay 4,500 peso. Some of Annie's friends owe more than that because they've actually run up debt or utang and stuff over this January, February, March, April, May period. One of her friends owes 18,000 peso, plus she's got to pay 5 for this retreat in June over on Samuel Island, which is after the exam, and I don't know what that is about. I've got no idea about that. I can't get a straight answer. So I don't mind paying the money, but why should I turn around and pay money where I don't need to? You know, you're giving money to go to Samar for 2 days, but you've already taken your exam. What's the refit? Hello, that princess. Thank you. So anyway, I went to an attorney on Monday because I'm hearing quite a lot online. People are asking me a lot of questions about buying property. So let's just give you a baseline of what my attorney told me I need to do if I'm buying a property in the Philippines. Okay, so when I went to my attorney, they're based in Magsaysay, called K&L, okay, and they specialise in purchasing property. So I spoke to the lady there, very, very nice person, a really open, honest, of a table. So he said to me there are 4 things I need to turn around and do. Before I put an offer in on a property, before you put an offer in, make sure you look for clean title, and it's in their name, tax payment up for how long they've been there, copies of real-time tax declaration from the BIR. So one of those is for land, one of those is for the house tax, and the 4th one, what is the title? Is it freehold, leasehold, rights only, or tribal rights? Which means tribal rights is it's tribal land, but the tribal group will let you rent that property, so it becomes a rental, not ownership. You might own the property, you don't own the land. So if they want you to leave the land, you have to take your property. That's going to be pretty difficult, isn't it, when you build a house, unless you build a house on wheels. Title means that, and a friend of mine had a title on his property over in Surreal, spent 15 years making it good, doing it. January this year, government came along, took away the title because they own the rights to the land. Okay. Third one, or second one, is a lease. You can get a 25-year lease and extend to 50. You don't own the land, but you just lease it and you get that. So if you start looking for a leasehold land when you're 50, you're going to get 25 years. Then you have to renew the lease, which means you need to renew the payment on that lease. It's not just renew the lease, it's make an additional payment to buy the next 25 years. Understand that? And the first one is, if you're buying, make sure it's freehold. Now you can buy a condo and it sits with the 60-40 rule, and it's a bit messy because if the condominium has more than 60% occupancy by foreigners, then the condominium management company can ask people to vacate their condominium. Oh, dodgy that one. And then the other 60-40 is about setting up a corporation or a company that you are the figurehead and you employ people underneath to be your management. Now, you can become the head of the board, but you need to have 4 Filipinos underneath you, or 3 Filipinos underneath you. 1 a treasurer, 1 a CEO, 1 a CFO, and 1 the day-to-day person. Okay, and that's what you need to try and do. So they're the 4 things she turned around and said to me that I've just elaborated slightly on. She said that once you've got that information, then go back to the people to get them to come in to the attorney to work out how much you're going to pay for the property. Now, this is where it becomes very interesting, because you can advertise the property as owner's price, or you can offer the thing on the marketplace as a fair market value price, or you can get a broker to turn around and do the paperwork for you. Now, what normally happens is you'll have a property that's worth, say, 10 million. Let's just use 10 million. It could be any million, but I'm just going to use 10 because it's easier for the maths. Your taxation on your 10 million for the property is about 1.2%. Taxation for the land is about 1.4 at 10 million. Okay. Solicitors' fees are around 200 to 300,000. Processing documentation fee is around 500,000. Now, you can get it cheaper, yeah, I know that, but you want to turn around and get the paperwork sorted. Getting copies of your documentation and getting copies of your paperwork from your side and their side is key to getting a smooth transaction. If you've got a broker involved, then the broker will add his fees to the 10 million. Now that could be, and I've seen properties here that I've seen on Marketplace and they're 6 million and now they're being offered at 12, because what actually happens is that's the value of the house. Then the owner of the house wants to get they don't want to pay 1.5% tax, so they put that on top. Then they don't want to pay the land registration and taxation on land, so they put that on there. Then they turn around and they put the capital gains on, so the capital gains goes on. Then the broker's fees go on the top like that. So you can see properties around 6-7 million, and then all of a sudden they go up by 5-6 million again. And all that 5-6 million going on the original price is to pay the fees, pay the capital gains, pay the tax, pay the broker. So if you got a leaky lip. So if you are looking for a property just get one from the owner. Okay? And when you look at the paperwork, make sure there is no wording in there that says net. Make sure it is gross. Thank you, Erica. It's gross. Because then once you've got the gross, you can then turn around and know what you're going to be paying and what they're going to pay. Net, was all these other things, all these other fees that are put on the property that you are responsible for. Now, you could be responsible for 20 years of back tax. Yeah, 20 years. Davao del Norte at the moment have turned around and told property owners in Davao del Norte if they don't settle their tax bills by the third month after the 31st of December, they will start foreclosure proceedings on their property. Because there are loads of people on Samuel Island and Davao del Norte that owe back taxes that they've never paid. Now, when you're sitting with a solicitor, you need to ask the person directly, or get your solicitor to ask the person directly. If you're on a condominium, if you're in a subdivision or in a condominium, I would never buy a condominium. No, I would always get land. And you can't buy land in your name, you have to buy it in a Filipino name. But you can get your name put on the documentation, but that's a whole another thing to talk about. What you need to turn around and do is ask the person directly, face to face, for a copy of the Homeowners Association payments and outstanding costs or charges, because the house might be going through some litigation with the Homeowners Association on the subdivision because it's broken the law, they're not complying with the Homeowners Association. But when you sign that agreement to buy it, you also buy the trouble with the property from the Homeowners Association. Now the Homeowners Association doesn't need to report that to the government. So when you first ask that before, BIR, tax, stuff like that, that is all legal. The Homeowners Association is what you need to see whether the Homeowners Association may say that we're not allowed pets and the property has got 2 or 3 dogs. The Homeowners Association can turn around and take legal action against you, but it won't go to the government. You have to turn around and ask that question in front of your solicitor to the person selling the house. Or the broker. I've seen some properties here that are very, very, very nice, and as soon as a broker gets involved, because they turn around and say they can sell it, prices go that way, straight away. So that's point 2. Point 3 is to agree on the sale price and negotiate tax off. It's not your responsibility to take that cover charge or that fee on the property they're selling, because the owner wants to get as much money out of the property as they can, which is normal greed. That's what they want to turn around and do. What you want to turn around and do is get the property for the cheapest price, which is your greed. So you have to walk that fine line of what you're going to turn around and do. Once you've got an agreement on what you want to pay for it, you need to agree a timeline. Now, you can get the solicitor, your solicitor or your attorney, to work with their attorney direct and it's a quick process, very, very fast, at least 6 months, 180 days. Once you get a broker involved, you could be talking maybe a year, because it's not in the broker's interest to sell the property quickly. It's in the broker's interest to draw it out and make their money. Not my words, the attorney's words. The attorney I was talking to said she doesn't like working with brokers. So be wary. Now, point 5 is agree on a bank. Okay, how the payment is going to be made. Now, in my country, you just turn around and go to the attorney. All the fees go to the attorney. They sort all the bills out. They make all the payments, and then what's left comes to you. That's straightforward. Here, it's not like that. You know, if you've got outstanding debt on internet on the house, that's carried over to you. It might be registered in their name, but the internet is still in that house. So the address has the internet. The person just pays the bill. The person hasn't paid the bill. It just gets dragged over. But the reason I said about a bank, there are certain banks here that my attorney said she doesn't like doing business with. One of those is HSBC. Too complex, too many questions getting asked, and too long process. She didn't like another bank that began with B and ended at O. She didn't like doing business with that one. She didn't like dealing with a bank that started in M, like in May, and finished in bank, because they had too many issues of releasing funds and not releasing funds, or the money disappearing when it was put through transfer. So she turned around and gave me 4 banks that she likes to use, her company likes to use in the Philippines. Now, the 6th bit is you need to come to an agreement after you've agreed the sale price, the taxation, solicitor, timeline, what you're going to turn and do. Point 6 is you need to come to an agreement. Do you pay all the money when you sign the contract, or do you sign 25% and 75% when you sign the contract for the house signed over to you, and all the tax and the banking and the bills and the paperwork is completed? Yeah. Or do you just make a deposit and then make the 90% payment when all the paperwork at the attorney's, when you sign? So your partner signs, Filipina, to a Filipina, and then you do the transfer of the money there and then between the two parties. My attorney says go for the last one, because then that pushes people through to work quickly to get the cash. If you give them a big lump sum at the beginning, they might spend that or drag their feet because they've already got 50% of the value of the house. And it's all in limbo, do you know what I mean? So do the 10%, get an agreement on that when they're doing this final and they're doing the transfer of the land, transfer of the house, all the bills are paid, all the taxes paid, and it's all been signed, sealed and delivered, then you turn around and make that payment. So that's what my attorney turned around and told me last Monday. Whether you agree with it, it's up to you. If I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to let her guide me on the best option. I'm not going to be digging money out of accounts to pay a broker or a family friend or a family, or relation friend. A bit here, a bit there, a bit here, a bit there. It will just be, there's a contract, everything gets paid on the end of the contract. No contract, no money. Sort it out. I don't need to buy the house. Might like to, but you just need to be a little bit cold and ruthless. So there we go. I'll go enjoy my blue cheese salad with my extra dressing. I'm waiting for my Provençal fish And
Usually prevent garlic.
oh, salamat, ma'am. Thank you very much. Oh, mashed potatoes nice as well. Let's have a look at what I got for my lunch. Blue cheese, cranberry, cashew nuts, apple, very, very nice. Oh, white lapu fish with tomatoes, black olives, no garlic. And then mashed potato with olive oil, no cheese, no garlic, no salt, no pepper. Because here they offer salt and pepper. So I'm going to have the salt and pepper with my lunch. So, buying a house, check out an attorney. Ask. Get the proper legal advice. It cost me 3,000 peso for the information I've just given you. But they are the minimum requirements the attorney says you should have. There are a lot more things that go on about decoration, understanding where the drains go, when was the septic tank empty, checking the electricity to make sure it works, are there termites, has there ever been any termite protection, yeah, is the house made out of cotton wool, concrete, wood, chipboard, aluminium, sand, bamboo, straw, yeah. If it's on a subdivision, make sure you get the rules and the regulations of the subdivision. Most subdivision companies or subdivisions have their head office in Price Tower in Bahada, and you can go to floor 6, 7, 8 and 9 to turn around and talk to the people directly. But I'll give you copies of the subdivision rules and regulations, but you need to get the ones that are actually enforced by the subdivision on the property owner of the property you're buying. Is there a noise abeyance? Is there a party? If you're paying, how much is the homeowner's? What does it include? Does it include cleaning the swimming pool? Does it include chopping down trees to keep roads clear? Does it include road markings? Does it include safety? Does it include security? Does it include? A lot of people turn around and say, "Oh, yeah, subdivision is gated and walled." I know 2 subdivisions that are gated and walled, but there's no wall or gate on the beach, so anybody can come up the beach and walk around the subdivision. That's the way it is. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy my lunch. Take care. Look after yourselves.